Skull Nation! Are you ready for some earth-shattering news that's about to rock the purple and gold kingdom to its very core? Because what went down at TCO Performance Center this Saturday isn't just your typical training camp update. This is the kind of seismic shift that could redefine our entire season before it even begins. Picture this. The gates finally opened for us faithful Vikings warriors to witness our boys in action, and while everyone's eyes were glued to our returning quarterback, sensation getting back to business after that devastating meniscus injury, the front office was orchestrating moves behind the scenes that nobody saw coming. We're talking about strategic decisions that could make or break our defensive secondary, contract extensions that secure our future, and desperate measures that reveal just how serious this organization is about competing right now. But here's where it gets absolutely wild, Skull Nation. While our signal caller was dazzling the crowd with his comeback performance, proving he's ready to lead us to the promised land, 3 mysterious defensive backs walked through our facility doors. Not superstars, not household names, but hungry fighters with championship rings and playoff experience who might just be the missing pieces we never knew we needed. And if you think that's all that happened, you're dead wrong. Because buried in all this chaos is a contract bombshell that just secured one of our most underrated defensive weapons for years to come, while simultaneously exposing some concerning absences that had coaches scrambling to fill gaps with emergency tryouts. Smash that like button if you're ready to have your mind blown. Drop a comment telling us what you think is really going on. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you even waiting for? This is the kind of inside information that separates true Vikings Nation members from casual fans. So buckle up, Warriors, because what you're about to discover will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about our 2025 campaign. The first revelation alone will send shockwaves through the entire NFC North. And it all starts with a young man who's already tasted Super Bowl glory. And here comes the first bombshell that's gonna leave you speechless, Skull Nation. The mysterious defensive back who walked into our facility on Saturday. None other than Trey Dean, a 25-year-old safety who might not be a household name yet, but carries championship DNA that runs deeper than the Mississippi River. This isn't just any ordinary free agent tryout Vikings faithful. We're talking about a warrior who already has a Super Bowl ring with the Kansas City Chiefs and a UFL championship with the DC Defenders. While he may not have officially played a snap in the NFL yet, this man knows what it takes to win when the lights shine brightest and the pressure reaches its peak. But here's what makes this signing absolutely genius. Dean didn't just collect participation trophies in his championship runs. In the UFL playoffs alone, this defensive mastermind recorded 10 tackles, snatched an interception, and delivered a tackle for loss across just 2 games. That's the kind of playoff intensity and clutch performance that turns unknown quantities into postseason heroes. Think about the timing here, Skull Nation. Our defensive secondary has been dealing with some mysterious absences. Veterans taking rest days or nursing minor injuries right before the pads come on Monday. While Isaiah Rodgers and Harrison Smith were nowhere to be found during Saturday's practice, our coaching staff wasn't sitting around hoping for the best. They were actively hunting for depth, for competition, for that spark that could elevate our entire defensive backfield. And here's the kicker that nobody's talking about. Dean's journey through the Jets, Chiefs, Browns, and DC Defenders wasn't just bouncing around the league. This was a masterclass in perseverance, learning from championship organizations and developing the mental toughness that separates pretenders from champions. Every stop taught him something new. Every cut made him hungrier, and every victory proved he belongs at the highest level. But Vikings Nation, if you think Trey Dean's championship pedigree is the only story that matters, you're about to discover that our front office wasn't done making moves that will reshape our entire defensive identity. Hold on to your horned helmets, Skull Nation, because the plot thickens in ways that will leave you absolutely stunned. While Trey Dean was turning heads with his championship credentials, our coaching staff was simultaneously evaluating another defensive back whose NFL experience might be limited, but whose hunger to prove himself could spark something special in purple and gold. Meet Javarius Owens, another 25-year-old safety who's been through the grind and emerged stronger than ever. This isn't some undrafted nobody trying to catch lightning in a bottle. We're talking about a 7th round selection by the New York Giants who actually cracked their 53-man roster and saw real NFL action. But here's where Owen's story gets absolutely fascinating, Vikings faithful. After the Giants released him, he didn't disappear into obscurity. The Tennessee Titans saw something special and brought him in, where he appeared in 5 NFL games and made his presence felt on 41 special teams snaps. That tackle he recorded, that fumble recovery, those weren't accidents. They were glimpses of a player who maximizes every single opportunity. And here's the part that should have every Vikings fan on the edge of their seats. Owens earned a futures contract after his Tennessee stint. Teams don't hand out futures deals to players, they don't. Believing. The Titans saw enough potential in this defensive back to invest in his development, which means our scouts are looking at a player with legitimate NFL pedigree and proven special teams value. Think about what this means for our depth chart. Skull Nation. While our starters were taking veteran rest days, our front office was building a foundation of hungry, experienced players who've tasted NFL action and are desperate to prove they belong. Owens isn't just another camp body. He's a player who's been through the fire, survived roster cuts, and earned his way back onto NFL rosters through pure determination. But Vikings Nation, if you think 2 championship-tested defensive backs trying out for our squad is the complete story, wait until you hear about the 3rd player who could be the missing piece that transforms our entire secondary strategy. Skull Nation, prepare yourselves for the most mind-blowing revelation of this entire weekend. Because the 3rd defensive back who stepped into our facility isn't just another hungry player trying to make a roster. We're talking about Jason Taylor, a former 7th round pick of the Los Angeles Rams who brings legitimate NFL starting experience and the kind of versatility that championship defenses are built upon. Now, before you start thinking about the Hall of Fame pass rusher with the same name, let me blow your mind with what this Jason Taylor brings to the table. This 25-year-old defensive back actually suited up 8 times for the Rams in 2023, recording 5 tackles across 39 defensive snaps and proving his worth on 111 special teams plays. That's not practice squad material. That's legitimate NFL production. But here's where this story gets absolutely incredible. Vikings faithful. Taylor's journey through Arizona and Kansas City wasn't just bouncing around the league, it was a masterclass in learning from championship organizations. The Chiefs, who just dispensed him in May, are notorious for developing defensive backs who understand their system inside out. That experience, that knowledge, that championship culture is walking through our doors right when we need it most. And here's the part that should have every Vikings fan jumping out of their seats. We're not just adding depth. We're adding proven NFL experience at a position where continuity and reliability matter most. While Trey Dean brings championship rings and playoff intensity, and Javarius Owens contributes special teams expertise and NFL game experience, Jason Taylor delivers the perfect combination of both worlds. And this isn't just about filling roster spots during veteran rest days, Skull Nation. This is about our front office recognizing an opportunity to strengthen our defensive secondary with battle-tested warriors who've seen real NFL action, contributed to playoff runs, and understand what it takes to compete at the highest level. So here's the bottom line. Vikings Nation, while everyone was focused on our quarterback's return to glory, our coaching staff was quietly assembling a defensive backcore that could be deeper, hungrier, and more experienced than anyone imagined. These 3 players represent more than just training camp bodies. They're symbols of an organization that refuses to leave any stone unturned in pursuit of championship glory. Smash that like button if this analysis opened your eyes to what's really happening in Eagan. Drop a comment and tell us which of these 3 signings excites you most. And if you're not subscribed yet, you're missing out on the most in-depth Vikings coverage in the entire kingdom. The question that should keep every Vikings fan awake tonight: could these under-the-radar moves be the defensive secondary reinforcements that finally push us over the championship threshold? Skull.